the International Women's Day. And for this year is very special because it's the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Platform for Action, the Fourth World Women's Conference. So we want to make it extra special. And what better way to celebrate than to hear a beautiful serenade from a young rising artist from Cebu City, Philippines. He is going to sing a serenade all of us with his beautiful voice. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Mr. TJ Castañeres. He's a young balladeer and rising artist in Asia.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies. It is such an honor to be here today. Um, Annyeong to Korea, annyeong, konnichiwa to Japan. And I think I'm limited to only those. I'm really sorry. But hello is a universal greetings to everybody. I mean, it is my honor to be here in front of you, ladies, to be honoring you this day. While we honor you, it is best to remember what brought us here. I believe what brought you here are your dreams, right? Your dreams for peace, your dreams for love, your dreams for unity, the whole world. And it is such a beautiful honor to be here serenading you, ladies. And with that, let's honor you and let's honor dreams through this music of dreams. To dream the impossible, dream to find the unbeatable, to bear with incredible sun, and to rise in the predicted, not cold, to write your and to love just from afar, to try your words are too dreamy to reach the unreachable stars. This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march, march into hell where the heavenly cause. And I know if I'm only with you,
This is my sister.
in my heart, when my peace, when I lay to my one shadow still strong. It's last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable, the unreachable, the unreachable sky. And I'll always be the impossible dream. Yes, and I'll reach the unreachable star. Yes, we know deep in our hearts we can do something. We can do something great. Everything is possible, and we can always reach the impossible dream. Right? Yes. And again, to add more to the tribute for today, and of course, honoring our dreams, it starts with a single dream, right? And then it follows with two, three, 10,000, more than how many thousand dreams, and we reach 1,000,000 dreams. And to honor this day today, to honor you ladies and your dreams, here's 1,000,000 dreams for everybody. I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting for me that I call mine. Through the dark, through the door, through when no one's before, but it feels like they can say it all sounds. They can say it once. I don't care if they goes crazy. We can live in a world that we desire. Cause inside of my head, I just promise to fill my head. 1,000,000 dreams are keeping me up there. Of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. 1,000,000 dreams is all it's gonna take. Every moment's like with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one that's you smile every day. You say that's not say, you can say we're lost. I don't care if the colors run away to a world that inside. 1,000,000 dreams are keeping me awake. But what the world is, a vision of the one I see. 1,000,000 dreams is all it's gonna take. 1,000,000 dreams for a world without you. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams. You made me right, you made me right. So say you'll bring me home to a world you see, to a world that close my eyes to see, I close my eyes to see. Right, and I am there. So much from my head, a million dreams are keeping me awake. What the world to me, picture life and what I see. A million dreams of us, it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world, but for the world, we're gonna be. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And to the ladies, congratulations and happy International Women's Day.
Wow. Thank you, TJ.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Thank you, my two titas, Tita Merly and Tita Maribel, for having me here. Thank you very much and have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Let
DJ.
us give one big round of applause. TJ Castaneras. Thank you. What a voice. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, it's from the grinding discussion, right? The harsh reality of the climb, the mountain climb that we have to do all our lives. And then it takes us to the million dreams and the world where we want to be and how beautiful it is. So we don't give up, we keep going. And that brings us right back to our discussion. So that was a nice, heartwarming, moving break for us. Yeah, I am so touched and moved, TJ. Thank you. Okay, then um, I'll give you back to Carolyn actually for the second part of the session. Let us welcome again, Carolyn.
So, thank you, everyone. So I think we will close our little discussions. Is that okay? Did everyone have enough time? Yeah. So I hope you knew that someone in your team should now make a little report. Did everyone know that? Yeah? Okay. So maybe we'll go one by one. You have really like 2 or 3 minutes maximum. And then, the other piece of information you need is whoever that rapporteur is, you need to send those notes to Lena. Can you stand up, Lena, so they know? So she could maybe, you arrange with her to get the email address. Because this will be included in our agreed conclusions tomorrow. Okay. Okay, so first, maybe I'll just go this way. Any rapporteurs, any groups here? Yeah, Juliet.
Oh, you want me to start?
Yes, please come up though.
Oh, okay, wow. Okay, so, all right. So. All right. So good afternoon. We needed more time, but I'm sure that would be enough. I'm representing the group for USA and Canada. It was an intensive, intelligent women discussion, so writing was not easy. So we picked, according to the survey, the top three critical areas of concern. And one is education and training of women, right? So, of course, our recommendations are the following. Ensure equality access to quality education for girls and women, including in rural and marginalized areas. Promote science, technology, and engineering and mathematics education for girls to empower them in fields traditionally dominated by men. Implement lifelong learning programs that cater to women, particularly those who face barriers to education due to socioeconomic factors. Foster partnership between governments, civil society, and the private sector to create educational opportunities for women and girls. Lastly, encourage the elimination of gender stereotypes in educational materials and practices. That's for education and training. Number two was women and health. So we know that according to World Health Organization, that's about 10 to 13% that women suffer peripartum depression. And fortunately, on the 17th, I was asked to do a case presentation. Okay, women in health. We have to ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive health services and education. That's the UN verbiage, right? Language. Address health disparities affecting women, particularly in areas such as maternal health, mental health, and non-communicable diseases. Promote research and data collection on women's health issues to inform policies and programs. Strengthen healthcare systems to be gender responsive and ensure that women have access to comprehensive healthcare throughout their lives. Advocate for the elimination of harmful practices that affect women's health, such as gender-based violence and female genital mutilation. This is also very big in the UN. And the third one that we selected as a group is the women empowered decision making. Yeah, women empowerment. Miss Carolyn, right? Women empowerment. So we have to enhance women's representation in political, like Carolyn. I was so impressed when we went to Geneva. She was very powerful even in her silence. So I know you have not witnessed, but me and really witnessed how she was powerful in her silence. So women empower in decision making. So we have to enhance women's representation in political and public life by implementing quotas and other affirmative measures. Support women's leadership training programs to empower women to take on leadership roles in various sectors. So we have to be empowered ourselves to be able that men and the UN and whatever organizations to recognize us. So foster environments that enable women to participate in decision-making processes at all levels, including community and national governance. Address barriers to women's participation in decision-making, such as discrimination, harassment, and lack of support systems. Promote women's economic empowerment as a pathway to increase participation in leadership and decision-making roles. These recommendations are part of a broader call for action to eliminate gender inequality and ensure that women and girls have equal opportunities in all aspects of life. The focus is on collaborative efforts among governments, international organizations, civil society, and private sector to create sustainable challenges that empower women and promote gender equality. Today, this is the start of women empowerment, our advocacy training. Thank you.
Okay, well, don't be intimidated by that. Huh? Okay, next group. Korea or Taiwan or yeah.
Satya.
You can even go. You can go before.
First one, I'll just so I'm gonna make a quick presentation. So I'm not really a member of WFWP. And I teach I'm a research professor at Sydney University. So I'll just sort of share what I heard from the members from the inside, and then I'll share some of the outsiders' perspectives.
Okay, maybe go. I think you don't even need to say that, huh? Just you're all the same team, actually. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we did discuss was that so WFWP in Korea focuses on education and training of women and environment at local level. So there are programs that focuses on leadership and peace building in Korean Peninsula, and that is to stop reproducing the knowledge. That is to reproduce stop reproducing the inequality in knowledge production and knowledge transfer, and then also to seek NGOs empowerment at institutional level through individual efforts, and also we thought we discussed about the recommendations on how we can work with the government. And so right now, at this moment, Korean um, headquarters sort of working to rebrand ourselves to have our voices heard. Um, so we would like we would like to encourage our government to participate with us, and then also we can act as an monitoring body. Especially now we don't have the Ministry of Gender Equality and Family, so which means that we sort of lack of government body to actually work with, and then also the current president officially announced that the systemic gender inequality does not exist anymore in South Korea. And then how gender equality is very, very politicized at the moment. And also between major and minor parties, gender equality policies are very, very diverse and somewhat very hard to align with sometimes international standard, and gender equality, especially in any area, needs is navigated by presidential leaders' preferences, and then we suggest that it needs more. We need gender mainstreaming throughout all sector. Thank you.
Can you wait for a minute? Actually, I should have said it last time, but does anybody have any question for her or any comment, actually? Just quickly, huh? Because I do.
Okay.
So, one is, what happened to this Ministry of Gender?
Also, we have the Ministry of Gender Equality and Family. So the President Yoon's initiative was to disband it, and at the moment we don't have the head of the ministry.
Okay.
So the ministry still exists, but without the head. So I'm not sure. So the research funding from that ministry is also declined. And I'm not too sure about like whether it'll still be of its own department or be merged into other department.
So that to me, well, anyway, I don't need it really, but that to me seems like that's a good recommendation you could make to your government. Even before they know what they want, you can recommend some ideas for what you think that ministry should be like. And then maybe if their minds are still searching, they might take some of your ideas, actually. Huh?
Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could provide some suggestions.
Lobby. Yeah.
Lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who's next? We have. Who else is? Oh, I'm sorry. Come on.
Hi, everyone. My name is Winnie. I'm from Taiwan. We've actually discussed with Japan, but I would like Japan to probably represent their, yeah, we do it separately. We didn't have enough time. But I'd like to just share what we thought from the perspective of Taiwan. So we think three areas. One is women empower in decision making. So recognizing the true quality of women, their strength and power, women deserve seats at the corporate level, be a member of the corporate board. We should be proud that in some countries, women are the IPO company CEOs, and women are leaders in top industries, and women are leaders. So women should be the role models and should have role models, and we need to encourage we need to continue to foster young women to become future leaders through collaboration and walking the path with the young women. So that being said I think we should not beg for a seat, but rather we should prove ourselves that we deserve a seat at the corporate level. So I think that's one point that we like to make. And in Taiwan, There are women that's in all the industries. I think in all the industries, only one or two industries that doesn't have women leaders. So I think that's a very good point to make. One second. Sorry. Okay, and the second one is women in the economy. So the new young elders, we have a large elderly population in Taiwan. So that being said, the new young elders, these are the women who are still very active and willing to do something. So they also want to continue to make a living, either at will or they are being forced to continue to be in the workforce. So we need to create opportunities to train them and to allow them to participate in a meaningful and fruitful projects. So with WFWP Taiwan, we have the fourth committee, which we hold a lot of workshops for elderlies, but then they later on spin out to be like a project where they could actually they could sell their products. And then that would generate some income for the women and also for our organization. So I thought that's like really sweet. And women are able to just, feel they are still worth, they're able to contribute. And that sense of, being able to participate and to be worthwhile. I think that's very meaningful. So that's the second area that we're doing, and through our program, we are creating that opportunities. Okay. Lastly, education and training of women. So we wish to continue to run our young women program. I'm very proud that we have two representatives here and who will be holding two forums this year. This is our fourth term that we have trained young women, and they have participated in this NGO CSW forum. So this very proud of them. So we would like to continue to run our young women program, and this is important to allow women to be trained in a safe environment, to open their eyes to a bigger world, to lead them to make connections and allow them to step out of their comfort zones and to explore the world. The world has become smaller as the internet has connected us and we're enabled due to the AI evolution. We need to connect through communication. So we care for people through these purposeful projects and programs. So we develop women leaders through learning by doing and learning by demonstrating. So these are the things that we're doing in Taiwan. But we also hope to see further expansion and development in these programs. And this is what we have to share with from the Taiwan side.
Okay, maybe just, thank you. That's maybe because what you spoke about was like all the good practices, right? So maybe you still have to get back together with your team and you have to link your good practice to a recommendation for your government. Like you're doing such a good job with somehow helping the elders to have their dignity, and their place in society. So maybe you could recommend to the government that they could do such programs all over the country or something like that.
Right.
Can you do that then?
Yes.
And then send it to Vina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay. And then from Japan? The Japanese team? Chika, is that you? Are you going to go after?
Somebody's raising her hand.
Somebody's raising their hands. Oh, you want to go? Okay. You need a minute, Chica? Somebody else can go. Okay.
Africa first.
Yeah, Africa. Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
Flowers.
Oh, thank you. So my name is Setu Gomo from Africa. So I'm going to report on what we came with. What we came with concerning the the project. So we actually focused more on the women in power and decision making. Taking, for instance, what is happening in Rwanda, that there is some upgrades or improvements in terms of women being involved in politics. So as we all know that Rwanda is the #1 worldwide in terms of female participation in politics. So the recommendations that we came with, as we all know that these women in decision making, it can always come with the positive and the negatives. So a lot can happen. Let's say, for instance, if a woman is elected in power, it's either they can feel so kind of under so much pressure because of maybe the negative energy coming in, to an extent that they might feel even end up having those kind of regrets why they are in power. It can also come with some positives where they really feel that, okay, they're being supported and they're being elevated in that kind of a position. So our recommendations to that is, to our government, is to support these women and empower them to be able to speak. As I've just said now, that it can come with the negatives or the positives. So you find that somebody is elected in power, but they don't have the voice to speak because they feel so suppressed, they feel kind of lonely. So what the governments can do is to really empower these women and to be able to speak, to feel that support, to feel like pushing, to say, okay, they can really take out what they have within them. And then the other thing is for women supporting other women. Women can be elected in power, but it's either the women who can make them draw back and feel powerless, or it's the women who can propel them forward. So what we are saying is women to support women is either even by voting for them into power and also using things like positive criticism, not to be too critical about them, because we have realized that when women are elected in power, people become so critical about their performance. Unlike when a man is elected, everything is just normal, is acceptable. But when the woman is in power, they become so too critical about their presence, about how they do things. And that on its own can really be frustrating. It can even block other women who are really aspiring to get into power. So those are some of the things that we should, that we're actually recommending. And also good leadership. Once a woman is elected into power, it will also require good leadership to support that women, meaning the presidents themselves. They need to support these women so that they can feel really that they are in the right spaces. They can now be able to say out what they have in order to improve quite a number of things. And then there was also an observation which was made in Ivory Coast, where one political leader, a male figure, his presence in parliament, his presence in politics, it created a space for other women to come into power. So we will need those kind of politicians, that kind of a mindset. So who have like that kind of belief and trust in women, because it's all about that for women to be in power. But if men don't have that trust and belief in women, so we will not see more of women in politics or power. So this also is a recommendation. We recommended that teaching male people in politics about the importance of having women in power and also restoring that trust in them. It can really go a long way. And the other thing that we spoke about was the education is culminating to the gender equality SDG. The recommendation to work with young women and men is also really very important if we are to really achieve this gender equality, and young women to look into getting into professions. We have heard about the STEM, which is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So we really need to encourage women to take up this kind of position, to take up all these subjects, not to feel like, okay, maybe the girl child chooses this kind of subjects, they feel, it's kind of odd or it's kind of the unusual, you know, so that it ends up pushing the other ones not to go for those kind of things. And also we spoke about the incentives as part of this kind of to really promote this kind of adoption by the girls. Once a girl adopts this kind of careers, there need to be also incentives that follow. This will also promote other girl children to take up those kind of posts and not to feel like something is strange about them. We have heard about things like this person must be queer. Why are they doing this kind of a thing? So we need to kind of fight those kind of connotations or those kind of thoughts so that it will really promote these children to also aspire to take up those kind of careers. And so also by teaching girls and boys about this gender equality, it will really take us a long way. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was, and those also who are also in this kind of fields, not to really feel ashamed, I can say, about making such kind of choices, but to really feel that they are in the right spaces, they are really making an impact, and they are really going some way, and also to motivate those who want to follow behind. So those are the contributions that we have.
Thank you. Very well done. I think we can, maybe we can add a couple more recommendations though, okay? Let's add a couple more because that was my group actually also. Okay, something about the budgeting, like with asking the government to fund training for women who want to go into politics actually, so they can learn just the political kind of civic education. Okay. Anyone else want to ask a question or make a comment? Yes.
I want to make a comment. Person before her, she was emphasizing on getting a seat on the table. I had recently heard, if you don't have a seat on the table, you become meat at the table.
Uh-huh.
So I really want us to focus on get a seat on the table.
Yes, better. Okay, thank you. So maybe Chica, and is that it after that? Is there anyone else? Another group? Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. So, okay, Chica, you can wait. You can go last. What? She wants you to go first. If you don't mind.
No, I don't.
Okay.
There was Carly. Good afternoon, everyone. Are we awake? I didn't hear. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Empowered Women of the Women's Federation for World Peace.
You can just introduce yourself.
My name is Marizel Rojas. I'm from Austria. I'm here with my daughter, Sarah. And we were in a group composed of 4 empowered women, led by Lina, of course. Caroline was there too, but she left us. Lina, Irina, Sarah, and myself. So the unfortunate thing that I would like to confess is because of our hectic schedule and work and school load, we were not part of the 26 who managed to do the survey. But because Lina kindly shared with us the results of the survey, we basically based our discussion on the survey results and what we think we can contribute, not just in recommendation, but action items that we believe maybe we can do in Austria. So, hold on, I need a cheat sheet. So, I don't know how many of you have been with Women's Federation for 20 years. Yes. How many have been with the Wfwpi for 5 years? How many have been with the group only in the past few months? Well, that's us. Because 2 months, 2 months. Okay. I think roughly at the same time. So we only joined the Women's Federation for World Peace fairly recently, I think 2 months ago. And we are very, very happy and very, very proud to be with all of you powerful women. And although we only joined about 2 months ago, we've been actually collaborating with WFWP, Austria, and UN for a while already through our organization, which is called the European Network of Filipino Diaspora. So from all the five, was it five or six items that were in the survey, we kind of discussed that it would be great if we could focus on enhancing capacity building and education. And that means investing in leadership training, mentorship, and digital literacy programs for women and girls. The discussion we had and the kind of recommendation action items that we came up with were inspired by the speakers we had before us. With Merle saying that if you can see it with your mind, you can then hold it in your hands. And when we heard Carolyn with the Beijing plus 30, could be 50 soon. That was also very inspiring. So what we thought was we could capitalize on what we already have now in Vienna. So what do you mean? Recently we had a Youth Changemakers Forum for young people, and it was all about excellence, empowerment, digital knowledge, all the things that concern the youth. And so our recommendation, if we would have the chance to propose it to our government, which is Austria is also very, very much youth-centered. In fact, we had a representative from the Ministry of Education, Science and Research who came with her two daughters, twins, and we said we would recommend that they support. It doesn't have to be financial because, you know, government, you ask for money, they turn away, they run away from you. So it could be in terms of venue and resources that are not financial. We would like to recommend to the Austrian government that they please support Youth Changemakers Forum for the second time, which was in collaboration anyway with the Women's Federation for World Peace. That's something kind of we thought is very concrete and somehow doable because we did it with the Women's Federation for World Peace. We also want to use as a recommendation to an even more intensive collaboration between like-minded organizations. Here we come representing the United Nations Women's Guild in Austria, Women's Federation. We are also representing the United Nations Correspondents Association in Vienna. And we believe that if all these organizations join forces, then we'll even be stronger. We were saying in the Philippines that if you just use one little piece of wood to sweep the floor, it will not be as powerful as a group bundled together. The other thing is engaging media and digital platforms to amplify advocacy efforts and drive global awareness. We all know how artificial intelligence can be both negative and positive. And this is the in thing nowadays. Who uses ChatGPT? I know I do. Who uses TikTok, Instagram, and all of this? I'm sure we all do. So we are going to capitalize on the positive use of AI. And this is through the youth forum that we have and the young people that we would like to encourage to be part of this big movement. Media literacy, social media, all of this. And what we believe in is the benefit across generations. So it will not just be the youth who are already tech savvy, but the first generation, for example, Filipinos or people from different countries who are already afraid somehow of technology, and we pull them all together. We also believe that, like what we've heard from the lady from India, Smirti, the power of women, of what that they have done in India through the years. We heard all those statistics, and it's amazing. So we believe that focusing on the different point of views on the role of women. She was not just a policymaker; she was also a homemaker, and much, much more. What else? I think that is it. If you have any questions, if you want to collab with Austria, with Vienna, please. We were even saying when we listened to Caroline, she did Beijing plus 30. Give us a chance, mentor us. And this is it, mentoring and being a mentee. Make it possible for us to do a Beijing plus 35 or Beijing plus 31, whatever would be possible. Any questions, please? Or comment, anything? An addition. Okay. I keep it. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell the best, you know. This is
So in addition to media, being a broadcaster for.
It's not working.
Is that
Mike's not.
okay?
Yes.
Oh, media, that's fine.
Yes.
So regarding media, I just want to add, being a broadcaster for the longest time and my experience and observations, I think we should educate and more and more women in media and to advocate ethical standards and integrity and transparency in media because media is lately totally uh, agenda based, a kind of a marketplace for politics and a personal, you could say, personal interests. So we need to advocate more and more women in the media so they can create a path for future generations, for better environment for women, and for better society, to create a better society through ethical, to maintain, by maintaining ethical standards and integrity. Thank you so much.
Before I leave, I'm sure my daughter will kill me if I go back there without saying something about third culture kids. Because last year in a conference that we organized, we started the topic talking about third culture kids. So every country has them. Every Filipino, every Italian who left their country and decided to live somewhere else has issues with the second, third generation children. So this is something that we believe is also very important that we, if we have not yet started it, start a conversation with our kids in different platforms, especially like the Women's Federation. And if we have started to continue this conversation and find ways and means to help third culture kids cope with the challenges of the world. So thank you so much for listening. Yeah.
Yes, I think we have one more question or comment from the floor. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that I have some general observations in terms of the presentation and a couple of comments. You know, all the presentations were very insightful, but in particular, you know, the presentations of Africa, Taiwan, and Austria. And now there are a couple of things that have stood out to me. And one is about the empowerment of women because and the youth, because it is important that young people should be able to lead as well. In particular, I like to lead the area of the change makers, of the youth change makers, because you know they're the ones who are going to be leading our future. But for that to happen, I like the fact that there should be programs where the elderly people are able to have that dignity to lead and teach because you know they're the ones who are going to lead the younger people and encourage the people who could be able to go do the programs like STEM. That is also an important part. And another thing that I would like to mention is that you know we as women we have to be able to unite together. And if you want to make a difference, but we have to respect other people's views. And for that, you know, knowledge is key. Thank you.
Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, Priscilla. Yeah, I was just thinking also because media is so important actually. And we know, I think maybe even those who are involved in media may need to meet together again a little bit today still and think of some kind of, what is really the problem today with the media, and think of some good proposal, could involve youth. Yeah, and then please give it to Lena. Yeah. Anyone want to volunteer to be in that little group to work on something with media? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, please. Okay, so that's already five people, so maybe take a little bit of time to be nice. Yeah.
I used to be a professor in media, teaching people how to promote their message through media. So I would like to be a part of that as well.
Yeah. Okay, so Chica, are you? Uh-huh.
So I think Christina highlighted something that is also very important in terms of the adults being able to teach the young ones. But then, the same instance, there is a problem of this kind of a generational gap, like where maybe the adults of they don't they kind of believe they've got their own previous beliefs in terms of how do you really bring these young children to teach them these kind of things, because we are coming from a different generation and we are leading this kind of a newer generation. So how do you really bridge that gap in terms of us having trust in these young ones that they can take up this? So I think she did highlight something that is important.
Yeah, good, good. So please, again, ideally send by email your thoughts, your reflections, or your recommendations to Lena. You have to get her email address. You can write it on a paper, but she prefers it to send by email. So, yeah.
Can I just add to that, because with the young women program that we're running, I think it's also very important for us to educate the young women, because once they start having their families, they're gonna educate their children, right? So this generation is so important that we need to start communicating with our young women. So I do feel like the family unit is very weakened right now. So, you know, how do we kind of make sure we have a very strong family unit to support young women to pursue what they want to pursue. So it's kind of all going in a loop, but every factor is so important. So I would like to talk about education if anyone's interested. So family units and education. So I don't know. I would be truly interested in you know, just trying to figure out what to do in terms of just the family unit. And I think that's been weakened in Taiwan. We have the highest divorce rates, and it's just very hard. So I would like I totally agree to what you were saying. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe just to add something, you know, there's what I think is we as parents need also to be